Okay, gang, here's a little bit of instructions about how to sort of manipulate and print your skeleton bibliography, just to give you an idea of what I would like you to do, not only to turn in your skeleton bibliography, but eventually when you print out your bibliography for the NHD night way in February and for the competition, if you go to the competition in March. Okay? We're going to go to your Noodle Tools. And this is what your Noodle Tools should look like with your little dashboard here. One of the big things you need to do is you need to make sure you have identified your bibliography resources and tagged them as either primary or secondary. So for example, this is a sample bibliography. Here's a magazine article. It's secondary. I'm going to click Add Tag, Secondary Source. Here's a letter or memo from a Civil War general. I'm going to click Add Tag, Primary source. Here is a book about somebody who was at, or by somebody who was at Gettysburg. So I'm going to add tag primary. And here's another one, selected letters of this guy, Joshua Chamberlain, who was at Gettysburg. Primary source. So I've tagged all of them. You can see all mine have tags. Then what you want to do is you want to go up to Sort, Primary, Secondary. And it'll put them to primary sources and secondary sources. Okay? Next thing you need to do is you need to make sure you have two sources annotated. One primary source annotated and one secondary source annotated. To annotate them, you can just click on the source and edit it right here, your annotation. Again, your annotation should be probably 2 to 3 sentences. What is the resource, and what did you get out of it? How did you use it? If it's a secondary resource, but it's full of primary resources, like maybe it's a book that has a bunch of documents in it, that's why you want to annotate it, because you want readers and judges to realize that, wow, this is a really good resource. So for the skeleton bibliography, you want one primary source annotated and one secondary source annotated. Eventually, all of them have to be annotated. Okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. Now that I've got them divided into primary and secondary, and now that I've got them two annotated, I'm going to print it. Here's what I want you to do to print it. Follow this along very carefully. I want you to go to Print Export and go to Formatting Options. I'd like you to have your list title as annotated bibliography. Okay? For your page header, you can put your last name. For annotation spacing, I want everybody to have annotation starts on a new line. Include citations and annotations, and we include our URLs. Okay? Then we're going to export this to Google Docs. Cool? Now, I'm going to rename this to Taft Skeleton Bib. I've got annotated bibliography. It's got my name on it, which is good. And then for primary sources, you'll see that it's got them separated and alphabetized, and also secondary sources are alphabetized. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to get all of your sources bolded, and also, if you would, have a space between all of your sources. Okay? So again, bold your sources. Keep your annotations in regular weight, and have a space between all of your sources. And there you have it. That's it. That's what we'll print out. Sound like a plan? Now, before you turn in your annotated bibliography, also make sure that you consult the rubric. There's your information, and here's the rubric. I have copies of the rubric in my room. I want you to turn in a self-assessed rubric with your annotated bibliography. All right, and this should be one. So make sure that you are taking a look at how you are going to be assessed and the feedback that you're going to get. Okay? So let's turn that bad boy in on Monday. I'll take a look at it, and I can't wait to see what kind of resources you have found. If you have any questions, let me know in one of our 50s.